Welcome to Lake Ronkonkoma. A Native American princess fell in love with an Englishman. Hi, Tuscawanta. She puts a knife through her heart, and her death immediately cursed the lake. And locals have believed that she is still looking for a lover to this day. The Five Corners Cemetery. Samuel Newton, are you here? My name is Nicholas. I am a young paranormal investigator in search of proof of the spirit world. I am also a person that can easily sense and feel spirit energy around me. I am joined by my uncle and cameraman William, and my father and executive producer Nick. We will search for ghosts at some of the world's most creepiest haunts. This is a haunted legacy. We are all heading to investigate a famously haunted body of water on Long Island, where a tragic legacy of a woman is associated with the land. When we arrived at the site, we all got out of our car and we walked down the hill leading towards the water. Welcome to Lake Ronkonkoma, the largest and deepest lake on Long Island, New York. Now, the history about this place is very fascinating because apparently, in the 1600s, a Native American princess named Tuscawanta fell in love with an Englishman named Hugh Birdsall, and he was a woodcutter who lived on the other side of the lake. And then one day, Tuscawanta rode across the lake on her canoe, and then she catches a glimpse of him, and she gets smitten. And her father, who was chief of the Setauket Indian tribe, forbids the union for 7 years. And during the course of that 7 years, she would send Hugh Birdsall love letters on floating pieces of bark. But then the princess loses hope eventually, and then one day she rode across the lake as usual, but this time she puts a knife through her heart, and her death immediately cursed the lake. Since then, she has been known to be the Lady of Lake Ronkonkoma. And locals have believed that she is still looking for a lover to this day, someone who looks just like Hugh Birdsall. So now we're here, and many people have been here before to see the beauty and do ghost hunts. So now we're gonna check it out. There's so much land here, so let's go by the lake first. This lake was also very popular back in the old days, and pavilions and water slides were set up on the private beaches, which therefore attracted hundreds of people in this town. I squatted down by the edge of the lake to try and see if I can sense any energy. My Uncle William and I ventured off a little bit from my father Nick, and we both took a brief moment to absorb the lake's beauty in all of its glory. So Uncle William, isn't this lake massive? Like, what do you think of the beauty?
Nice. It's good. Yeah, I like it.
Would you go for a swim if you wanted to?
I don't know. I haven't been swimming in a while. I don't know.
Come on, it's so much to explore.
Yeah.
There's no sharks in it or anything.
No, I know that, but I don't know.
I then approached my dad and asked him the same question. Dad, would you go swimming in the lake if you wanted to?
I did when I was a kid. I don't know if I would now, though.
Yeah, and Grandpa went to. Didn't Grandpa come here one time?
I don't know. I remember my mother bringing us as little kids, and us going swimming.
You told me that Grandpa Billy was a little kid.
Oh, when he was a little kid, a teenager, he drove out here, yes.
When I first visited Katie's in Smithtown before the start of our show, my father and I were having a conversation with the bar's owner, and my dad shared the same exact story of my grandpa who had driven to Lake Ronkonkoma.
My father, when he was a kid, he drove a truck with sugar out to Lake Ronkonkoma for the bootleggers or something like that from Brooklyn. My father. Oh, no kidding. When he was a little kid. Yeah, he was like 14. They let him drive a truck.
I then did an EVP session near the lake. Okay, so I'm going to walk to a different area of Lake Ronkonkoma right now and see if I can talk to Tuscawanta, the Native American princess that's supposed to haunt here. So let me do a new recording session. Here we go. Hi, Tuscawanta. This is Nicholas. I'm a young investigator here. So, you're supposed to be the lady haunting the lake, huh? Now, I may not look like your lover, Hugh Birdsall, but I am someone who's here to help you. So, forgive me if I don't look like him. I know you're very picky, but yeah. Hugh Birdsall, are you here too? Can you talk into this recorder? I'm a young paranormal investigator. I continued my EVP session for about 2 minutes. Hey, Tuscawanta, do you want to speak into the recorder, or do you want to make the ghost meter spike up? I just want to see if you're still here, and this lake really is haunted. She rode across all the way to the other side of the lake. Hi, Tuscawanta. This is Nicholas. I'm a young investigator here. So, you're supposed to be the lady haunting the lake, huh? After the session, I met with my father and uncle, and we felt that now was a good time to take a break. So we all sat down on a fallen tree trunk and discussed more about the story of Tuscawanta and Hugh Birdsall. So, Uncle William, about that Native American princess, Tuscawanta. Some people say that she was a hoax, that she wasn't real. But what do you think? The love story sounds very true. So, what is...
I really don't remember too much about her too much. I don't know if we learned it in school or not. I'm not sure.
Dad?
Yeah, it could be real. It could be legend.
And Dad, what about you? Because they say she's a hoax.
Well, I don't know how she conducted herself, if she's really a hoax or not. But I don't know. I think it's a legend.
Yeah, but they definitely said that Hugh Birdsall...
But I don't know that... Could that be a sign?
What? A sign from what?
The crow.
In the middle of our discussion, we noticed that there was a crow cawing right above us, and it grabs our attention almost instantly. My dad now starts to feel that this crow could be a possible sign from a spirit. In particular, he feels that this is a sign from my grandma Helen up in heaven. When the crow was gone, we got back on our feet and finished our investigation. The rest of our investigation was silent, and no other energy was felt by us. And before we knew it, it was time to conclude our investigation at Lake Ronkonkoma. So, overall, Lake Ronkonkoma. It seems very peaceful today. It doesn't seem active with any paranormal activity today, especially now that the sun's out. But I gotta admit, that crow was really special. I really did feel that it was Grandma Helen, and everyone came to an agreement. If certain signs happen to appear, then they can serve as a possible indicator for spirits. So it could be my Grandma Helen, or my grandpa, or it could be any spirits that are here. So now we're going to head over to the Lake Ronkonkoma Cemetery, also called Five Corners Cemetery, and we're going to see if any ghosts are there. So come on. When we pulled up to the cemetery, we were in for an unexpected surprise. Sadly, the cemetery was closed, hence we had no choice but to accept this condition. So our change of plan is to investigate the perimeter of the cemetery in the parking lot. So my Uncle William and I got out of our car and began our quick investigation here. So this is the Five Corners Cemetery, and it's right next to this nursery school right over here. So come on, Uncle William. This cemetery was established in 1862, and it is known to house the graves of war veterans dating back to the Civil War. So, this is the burial ground right here, home to many Civil War veterans. Anyone here? There's not much we can do here, but this is the burial ground, so let's go just a little more. Walk over there. Any spirits here at Five Corners Cemetery? I stood on top of the small hill and pointed my equipment into the cemetery. Wow, it's massive. It's huge. Nothing on the ghost meter, so it'll come down nice and easy. We can't do much here at the Five Corners Cemetery. It's closed off. But we're just going to talk to it from the fence. You recognize any of the names on the tombstones or no? And usually they come here during the 4th of July for some reason. So, since we had limited access and time here, we had no other option but to end our investigation here at the Five Corners Cemetery. So, unfortunately, about the Five Corners Cemetery, the Lake Ronkonkoma Cemetery, we couldn't go in because it was locked. But I made an attempt to talk to any ghosts here from the fence. So we did something, and we spent a good chunk of time here. I didn't capture anything, but I might have felt something near the hill down there. Once I said my conclusion, my Uncle William went back in the car, and I decided to walk by the cemetery one last time by myself. Alright, so now I'm out here by myself. Uncle William is in the car with my father Nick, so... Nothing with the ghost meter. Nothing. These spirits aren't active during the daytime as much. It's best to come here at night. I started to call attention to the spirits that are said to reside here. Any spirits here at Five Corners Cemetery? We can't go in. Newton? Are you here? Not Isaac Newton. Samuel Newton, are you here? The Long Island Paranormal Investigators were here. Anyone in the cemetery? Hello? Wow, it's a big hill. Looks like we're not capturing evidence here. Whoa. I almost face planted onto the cement. That would have been a nasty hazard, but sorry folks, this is all we're getting at the Five Corners Cemetery. The gate's locked and it's a Saturday, so it's probably closed on Saturday, but we did make an attempt of coming here. Then I approached our vehicle and we drove away. Our visit to Lake Ronkonkoma, New York was filled with unforgettable memories. We first explored a portion of the lake and tried to connect with Tuscawanta or any other earthbound souls. In the midst of our investigation, we took a small break and sat down discussing about the legend of the Lady of the Lake. As we were talking, we were interrupted by a loud crow cawing up in the trees. And what's great about this occurrence is that we all felt that it was a sign that someone was with us as a spirit. After searching at Lake Ronkonkoma, we then drove to the Five Corners Cemetery, but we were disappointed that the entrance to the cemetery was locked. So instead, my Uncle William and I looked at the cemetery from the perimeter fence and parking lot and made an attempt to do a ghost hunt. Perhaps something supernatural was with us while we were here. Our final words to these two locations are, why are the spirits that are said to haunt them currently refusing to move on? And if they ever do move on, when will they?